Good morning, quilt people and seekers of the earth. How are you? I am doing pretty good. It's been a while since I checked in, and that's been for a very good reason. I am currently going through a divorce, as I recognized that relationship was not serving my highest and best, and I had to seek out something else. So the ranch is no more. I now live at my sister's house here in downtown Palm Springs. So lots of changes that are happening. And, for that I am blessed. It has been a difficult road, but a very necessary one if I am to continue my soul journey and live in truth to what that means. So what does that mean? Where am I? What am I doing? So I gotta say, really changed. I am very different. I am, no longer the quilting cowboy. I am no longer the one who is seeking pleasure rather than devotion. I have gone, so the real reason, like the last straw of my relationship was that my partner at the time was standing in the way of me going on a sacred earth and plant medicine retreat, which was the thing I knew I needed to do in order to eradicate the trauma, the PTSD, all the stuff in my mind that I have struggled with greatly ever since I was a child, ever since I was, really abused by my parents under the guise of religion. And so me needing to go and do that, and that person standing in my way, was something I needed to remove because they were not seeing me, they were not supporting me, they were not helping me get to my next place in life. And, that kind of has to come first because it affects all else, right? So that's kind of where I am. The retreat that I went on was a total game changer. I mean, it changed everything. And it's hard to put into words exactly what you gain from out of an experience like that. But what I can say is that I have no more trauma. I have no more PTSD. I have no more fear. I have no more sense of scarcity or lack. I am able to stand in the oneness of creation and know what's true for me. Know what's true for me as a light worker, as an energy worker, as a shamanic practitioner, as a seeker, as a being. Like, there is an opportunity at these retreats for you to step into that vibration of oneness and to know yourself differently. And once you know yourself differently, you can't unknow it. And that's why I think a lot of addicts and people like that who go through these experiences don't use again, don't pick up again, because they now know what it's like to stand in your own holiness, to be that big, to be that grand, to have touched, again, there's no other way to put it, but your own holiness, and to stand in that frequency, in that vibration, and then to bring that vibration home with you and continue on a new path that only seeks to connect to that and to stand in devotion to that. I don't watch television anymore. I don't listen to secular music anymore. It's tough for me to go to movies and things like this. So it's a double-edged sword, right? Because you're kind of forced to step out of society in a way. While they're all doing that and applauding that which elevates the ego, that no longer seems acceptable to me. I don't want to read books where characters' default is their character defects, where it's just, oh, well, that's just the way they are. There's this evil person. No, go heal that person. Don't attack them and be in war. Don't be fighting, because as soon as you try and fight, you have lost. And so it becomes this journey of evolution of not only yourself, but others around you. And when you see people acting in an unhealthy manner, that's just them crying out for help. right? That's not them being bad. There is no bad. There is no bad person. They're just wounded. They're just not awake to the consciousness that can be, that is evolution beyond what we have been taught in the past as a default setting for human consciousness on Earth. There is no need to devolve into the ick. There's no need to participate in the ego that elevates good and bad and right and wrong. There's no need to celebrate killings as entertainment. There's no need to live in that unconscious way unless you're addicted to your fear and pain. And if that's what you want, hey, go for it. But we have cracked the code here on Earth. There is no longer a need for humans to belong in that vibration. It's infantile. It's silly. It's unnecessary. And we at this time are evolving into a place where we don't judge, and we certainly don't live with an attachment to the past, to what was. To cure yourself of all things past, that which has gone on, and to only stand in the vibration of the current conscious present moment with no attachment to anything that has gone on before, is where love lives, is where consciousness lives. But most people are fixing and fighting and trying to, help others and trying to, do all this crazy that's associated with an imagined future or an imagined past, and then they can't understand why they're crazy. Right? It's unnecessary. It's unhelpful. Do not fix. Do not fight. Stand in the current conscious present moment and feel the resonance of Earth. Earth is very giving, yet we have abandoned that for the elevation of our own personal pleasure and comfort. Those who cannot associate to their own soul power, to their soul gifts, to the reason why they're really here, will seek pleasure. And that's the path you have to choose. Are you seeking pleasure? Because that can only be temporary. And you can find the thing that makes you happy. Yay, we're going to Disneyland. But then Disneyland is over and you're back at work and you're wondering, what the heck? It's a very temporary journey to Disneyland, is it not? But when you yourself are lit up internally with something so much more powerful and so much more sustainable than being informed by the external, when you find that self-sustaining energy within you, and that's what you're connecting to in each and every moment, in each and every day, and you just continue to fill yourself with personal power. Oh. That's where the good stuff lies. And the good news is it's really addicting. Right? Because to be able to light yourself up, right? To be able to harness the energy of real power, of sustainable power, of joy. Wow, why wouldn't I want to do that for myself? But we haven't been given good examples, have we? We elevate people in this world who have no association to that. And while the seeking of pleasure and the seeking of money and the seeking of all these other things may, again, be a temporary gain, it ultimately crashes and burns into pain. And so if you want to avoid that pain, you have to seek something else, which is not pleasure, but rather devotion, which is constant service to your highest and best, right? Which fixes the inside. And by fixing the inside, we then begin to fix the outside. We don't ever fix or fight out there. We only ever fix and fight what's in here, right? Because that's where the real lessons are. That's where the sustainable gifts are. I now have such different views on the world, on my trauma, on my parents, on my lineage. Oh my gosh, through sacred ceremony and through these sacred earth and plant ceremonies, I've had the opportunity to be the one to stand here on earth in the here and now that all my ancestors have fought for. I had the opportunity to stand with them in sacred ceremony and heal them, to clear my lineage, to be the one who arrived finally to the moment. And it was such a gift to be able to be the one to let their trauma go and to no longer make it about me and my trauma, because they all brought me to this moment, especially my mother, who, as you know, was very difficult for me in my human experience as a child. But to be able to see her and the fights that she fought and how hard she tried, I mean, and again, it's hard to put into words because it's not words, it's an experience. Don't deny yourself that experience. Go, sign up. There are a bunch of different ways. Don't make it about the money. Don't make it about excuses. Just show up for yourself and say, yes, I am ready. I am ready to be healed. I am ready to let go of fear and pain. I am ready to evolve in my own consciousness, knowing that once I get there, that will fix all else. That will fix all else, right? So go. This is an inside job, right? And it all lives here. And everything that you're seeking in this lifetime is found in one place. And that's on the other side of stillness. What does devotion mean to you? Do you have a practice of devotion? I didn't before I went on one of these retreats, and Christopher Shaw of merkabaretreats.com helped me develop one. And since then I have, oh my gosh, like my life is so different. I go to bed at 9, I wake up at 3 a.m. and I start my practice. And I do my practice sometimes for an hour, sometimes 2 hours, but it involves me tapping in, right? Connecting to self, connecting to all else through self, standing in power, connecting to all that is consciousness, both on earth and off. Like the amount of personal power that I'm tapping into now is like, whoa. I didn't know this was real. In fact, there was so much I didn't know which was real. And like, even to have Christopher's guru and teacher teach me from India and Mexico, not even being in the room, but he taught me so much. And there's no, again, it sounds crazy, I know. I didn't think these things were real. I really didn't. I didn't know that the human experience could include like such off-grid work, such off-grid experience, such off-grid communication and learning. And again, like, don't take my word for it. Just go. Just go and do it for yourself. And let those gifts be revealed to you, and you will understand yourself differently because you will have the opportunity to experience yourself in the fourth and fifth dimension, which does not attach to the current conscious present moment, which attaches to all time and all space. And in there, you have the opportunity to see yourself differently, to stand in your own holiness, to stand in the oneness of your lineage, to stand in like so many powerful places that it will change you. It certainly did me, right? So I get up at 3 a.m. now and I tap in and I have these exercises and yoga and chants and prayers and all this other stuff that is like, I can't imagine my day starting without that now. I can't imagine my life not incorporating these gifts, because the more I do it, the more it gives back to me. And both in personal power, in sense of self, in sense of stillness, in sense of oneness. Like it's just all there, and I'm internally calm. I'm internally dialed in. Like I'm so different now. And, for that I am blessed. Also, where I am in my life, beyond just like all my superpowers just like popping off, like, oh wow, like I have a new way to meet people in shamanic sessions now. I have a new way to tap into where they are, what they need, how I can help them. Can I help you? Can I help you in any way? That's why I'm here. That's why I do all this for free, just to offer it back to humanity. Because as you have probably witnessed, if you've turned on the news at all in the last couple of years, we're at a breaking point. That's the good news. That's the good news. And it'll be up to us to decide if this is destruction or if this is the rapture, the return to joy, the return to love, the return to meeting every stranger as family. That's where we're going. That's what we're heading for. That's what lives in our future, is the evolution of consciousness, where fear and fight and, watching people kill one another as entertainment is just no longer acceptable, is no longer the deal, is no longer what we're interested in tethering our minds to. There's a higher place that I promise you is far more rewarding, far more sincere, far more earnest in its give, far more available, far more pliable in terms of helping you achieve your hopes and dreams, because you're tapping into the network that provides, not takes. There's a new social media network that we're building that addresses high vibrational people. It's called Lumara, and I'll put a link in the post here. But if you're looking for your people, if your people are not the people on the news, if your people are more like me, if your people are sensitive, if your people are gifted, if your people are seekers, if that's you, then join your fellows. Join people and be surrounded by them and walk in the vibration of what that feels like as a crowd. Like, oh, wow. Because it's there you really receive healing. And through Lumara, we're starting a bunch of new programs like Habitual Prosperity, which is going to give, people who really need money, and opportunities to make money, and an opportunity to serve the kingdom and carry the message of the high vibrational people, right? With money. And it's going to be a company that serves through giving, not through taking. And it's going to be, I think, a whole new paradigm shift in the way we view what a company is and what a company does. Because this company is specifically designed as a wealth distribution tool. And to be a part of it means, oh, money. What a concept. So you might want to check that out. I mean, these are the shifts and the changes that are happening now on Earth. And you get to be a part of that, or you can go watch the news and be a part of the chaos and try and fix and fight all of that to continue more fix and fight. There's no bad guy. There's no bad guy. The only thing wrong with that is the paradigm that says there are bad guys. And so if you're seeing a bad guy, you're participating in the old way. If there's someone who's screaming and crying and behaving poorly, that's a wounded individual, not a bad guy. Can you see them as such? Can you see them as needing help, not needing to be attacked? That's where we're going. That's what we're doing. I'm really excited about what I'm also doing with my books. Those are really taking off. As you know, I have my original trilogy, The Journey of a Light Shaman, and book one, Foreign to Me, is the first book I ever wrote, and that is being turned into a movie script by a woman at the LA Times, and so I'm excited about having that finished and then being able to shop that around, because I'm really interested in creating a new form of entertainment that seeks to evolve the viewer or reader in their consciousness. Right, so that's kind of where I'm going with the entertainment stuff. And then Broken Like Me is about two handicapped men who learned how to move mountains. And then book three in that series is Made of Me, which is really about the main character coming to terms with his own humanity and death. And so, light reading. It really is. It's fun. I promise. It's not super. It is a little bit heavy, but it's where the lessons learned. It's where the character's ahas and evolution hopefully will become yours as the reader. And that was my intention in creating those books. So that was Journey of a Dark Shaman. However, I have now completed and have in the hands of literary agents, Journey of a Light Shaman. And book one, Zenith's Peak, has just been sent out to a bunch of literary agents, two of whom I'm very excited about. One specializes in fiction to film, and the other one is a New York-based agent who I really connected with at the LA Writers Conference, and she was so moved, as was I, by our initial meeting, that I really hope it turns into something. She was very taken by one of my books called Antiseptic Moron, which is the title that I put the book under because when I was going through my Sacred Earth and Plant Medicine retreat, that's what Christopher's teacher and guru called me, because I could not sit still in nature. It was too nature, get off me. I'm antiseptic moron. So anyways, that's in the works as well. But then book two in Journey of a Light Shaman is this one, Passion's Peak. And that is about the main character becoming a very powerful shamanic practitioner. And it kind of pulls the veil back on, what is shamanism? What does it look like in order to be trained in those shamanic ways? And then the last book, Soul Peak, is kind of a pickup of the Journey of a Dark Shaman, as it includes Jack, the main character from that first trilogy. So those are in the works and in the hands of some really important people that I'm excited about working with. Beyond that, I have, as you know, my Language and Light series, which are the books that explain shamanism, but more in a basic way. It's about Nikolai Tesla, but the books are told from his secret lover. So it starts in 1886 when Nikolai Tesla leaves for America, and the character who he leaves behind is named Melvin, and he's part werewolf. Oh, because that's my spirit animal, right? And so I wanted to show a way how to explain my relationship with my inner, wolf being, but through, a more Western way, which is a werewolf, I guess. So that's book one, Handsome Devils. And then book two is An Army Awakens. So in 1886, that was the first time that conversion therapy was ever coined as a term. And back then they would lobotomize queer individuals. And so it's Melvin running around and saving all these young men from being lobotomized. So he ends up with a whole gang of young men who he then teaches the shamanic ways, and they have to fight the government using shamanic practices. So, I don't know, could be relatable. So that's An Army Awakens. And then book three is Where the Warrior Lives. And that's really getting into the heady stuff of shamanism and how to become a very, very powerful being, and basically being able to jailbreak the matrix. And then book four is Christian's Rapture, and that is the journey of the only trans character in the book and what she goes through as a trans individual back then in 1886. And I have written Felix's Fight, which is book 5. I haven't published it yet, but the literary agents were like, yeah, we can't come in the middle of a series. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. So I will be self-publishing that eventually here, once hopefully my house sells and I have a little more money. And then beyond that, I do have a new book that is leveraging my real estate background, and it's the Prefab Guy. And it's your step-by-step guide to building a sustainable mortgage-free home through prefabrication. Did you know that you could build a house instead of just go buy one? And you can do so over time as you're able, without financing, without a mortgage, without our usual ways. And my hope was, I know there's a lot of young people in the market who have been disillusioned because home prices are so high and they feel like they can't even buy a home. Well, okay, let's look at this a different way. Maybe you can still acquire a home, but differently. And buy the land, right? And then all the processes of what it takes to buy the land, and then build as you're able. Start with a tent. Start with an RV. Start with something you can drag onto the land once you purchase and acquire that land outright. There's probably pieces of land everywhere around you that are for sale. Many of them are fairly inexpensive. Start there, right? And then build from the ground up. And using prefabrication, it makes sense because you're buying a product off the shelf rather than going on some architectural safari with no idea of where the end costs are going to be. So that's this book, The Prefab Guy. Hopefully that really helps those people. So that's where I am in life. How's that for you? I'm so blessed. And even though, you know, me and John getting divorced and me going through that whole process has been incredibly painful, and to mourn a lot of the dreams that we had together, and to lose the farm and the animals and all of that, you know, is not an easy thing. I know it's the right thing because it really puts me where I should be, which is right here with you, helping to serve in devotion, helping to serve you in your path. If I can help you in any way, if you have any questions, if you want to see me on a Zoom call, like, let's connect. Let me help you move past fear, pain, anxiety, PTSD. None of that is required. None of that is necessary anymore. We have tools to move beyond those things, and I want to help you get there because that's how we ultimately fix all this. Anyways, that's where we are today. I hope that you're doing well, and I will talk to you soon. All right, bye.